Another action-packed edition of Weather for Weather Geeks. It is January 11th, 2018. Hi again, everyone. Eric Wilhelm here. If you're new to these Weather Geek videos, I've gotten a lot of new followers on Facebook over the last several days with the busy weather. If you've never watched one of these tend to be pretty long. If you want a more kind of snack-sized weather video, check out some of those that we do on our 21 Storm Tracker app. And, check out my Facebook and Twitter feeds for, just graphics and that sort of thing. But on this video, we really take a deep dive into the weather, really have an opportunity to kind of explain what we expect to happen over the next couple of days in a lot of detail. But again, I know these videos aren't for everyone. Weather geeks like these things, and people who their livelihood depends on the weather. If you're a plow driver or something like that, I think you'll find these videos pretty useful. In the meantime, 62 degrees today, breaking last year's record, or the record high that was set last year on this date. 56 degrees, that old record. 62 is where we made it to this afternoon, but it did turn into a rainy afternoon and evening. Here's a look at some of our local rain gauge totals. About a half an inch in Boardman and downtown Youngstown, as well as Canfield and Austintown, and pretty close to that over towards I-80 in Mercer County as well, about a quarter to a third of an inch in the Newton Falls to Mesopotamia corridor. This is what the radar looked like at 7:43 when I did Weather Geeks this evening. Still kind of a spring-like evening with temperatures in the 50s and some rain. The Weather Service did hoist some flood watches earlier on today. A couple of reasons for this. The rain, which will end up being between 3/4 of an inch and an inch in most spots, the recent snow melt, and also the possibility of ice jam flooding around rivers. So the ice on all of the waterways breaking up as a result of the warm weather today, and that can make the ice kind of the blocks of ice run into each other and come ashore and bring some water ashore and cause some problems in that respect. So that's why they did hoist a flood watch earlier on today. Boy, what a cold front. You don't need a degree in meteorology to find a cold front. So this is a 24-hour temperature loop, and look how sharp this front is. Keep an eye on a place like St. Louis, where it was close to 60 right there, and then all of a sudden it was 35, 28, 29. This is what we expect to have happen here tomorrow. You're going to see a sudden temperature drop out of the lower to mid-50s into the upper 20s to around 30 over the course of just a couple of hours right around lunchtime tomorrow. Weather Service does have a winter storm warning now out for the entire WFMJ viewing area. Lots of winter weather advisories and winter storm warnings out for a large chunk of real estate across the region. All right, let's start walking through this. It's going to be a warm night tonight. Temperature staying in the 50s all night. And we're going to see occasional rain through the night. And still liquid precipitation for the morning hours tomorrow. Look how warm it'll still be. And these numbers are probably a little too low. Right around 11 a.m., I could see where some places are still in the mid-50s, especially south and east of Youngstown. But here comes the cold air. So by 12:08 p.m., Mesopotamia is at 38, and Calcutta's at 53. So here comes our front, and this transition will occur from northwest to southeast right around early afternoon tomorrow. Now, it's not going to instantly turn icy. A lot of schools are dismissing early tomorrow, and I think that's a great move, but it's not going to just suddenly become icy. Temperatures will be right around freezing. It'll still be raining. It's going to take a couple of hours for temperatures to drop into the upper 20s and the ice to more efficiently stick on things. So by 4 o'clock, we're probably in the upper 20s, and this is probably the worst part of the afternoon, late afternoon. Even though freezing rain will probably start early in the afternoon, the impacts really won't be especially noticeable. There'll be a little bit of a lag mid to late afternoon, and then it looks pretty slick for a time tomorrow evening, and this is before a flake of snow. This is all freezing rain and eventually transitioning to sleet, and then here comes the snow. I expect that transition to snow to occur between 7:30 and 9:30 p.m. on average, couple of hour window there. And it's going to snow hard. Once it starts snowing, and these will be big bomber flakes coming down, and it's going to have no trouble sticking with temperatures this cold. So it's going to be a pretty quick change over to snow, and once it gets going, boy, you don't want to be traveling in this. Travel conditions will be real tough for a time tomorrow night. Now, the snow is going to start to taper off well before daybreak on Saturday. In fact, the snow probably starts to taper as early as 4 to 4:30 in the morning. And so as most people get up and about Saturday morning, the snow will have stopped falling from the sky. In fact, the sun is going to try to come out fairly quickly on Saturday. Now, the road crews will have a hard time keeping up with this snow for a while. It's going to be coming down at a rate that's just hard to keep up with, no matter how many plows are out there. And so Saturday morning, it's still going to be tough. You're going to have to shovel or plow your driveway. If you are out traveling early in the morning, the roads are still going to be slippery in spots. But be patient if you can. If you don't have to travel Saturday, just wait a few hours, and I expect, even though it's going to be a windy and cold day, things will be a lot better as we get into the midday and the afternoon on Saturday. So another look at the timing of things here. Let me actually prevent this from rotating like that, and I'll get my head out of the way. So again, our impacts with the freezing rain start early in the afternoon, lasts a handful of hours. Then we get the sleet for a couple of hours, late afternoon, early evening, and then we see that transition over to snow. And the worst part of the snow will be between, say, 9 p.m. and 3 a.m., kind of a 6-hour window there in which the snow can really come down hard. And wind chills will be close to zero. I'll get into more detail on that coming up in just a minute, but close to zero all day on Saturday. All right, I have been showing this graphic a little bit lately, precipitation types, and this may be something that may be kind of a new concept to some people, or just this is a good reminder for some. The difference between sleet and freezing rain. The problem occurs when we have a layer of air above our heads that's warmer than the air down here at the ground. And the magic number, of course, is 32, the freezing mark. And when you have air that's warmer than 32 overrunning air that's colder than 32 and precipitation falling, it can be a problem. When that warm layer is deep, the rain stays rain all the way down to the surface and then freezes on contact. When the warm layer becomes shallower and the colder layer becomes deeper, well, then the precipitation has time to refreeze on the way down. Well, snowflakes, once they melt into liquid, don't then refreeze back into snowflakes. They refreeze into little pellets, little ice pellets, and that's what sleet is. Now, freezing rain is the more problematic of the two because it's ice, essentially. Sleet doesn't adhere to things, doesn't stick to things as efficiently as freezing rain does. So we're rooting for sleet over freezing rain, but I think we are in for some freezing rain for at least a few hours tomorrow afternoon. All right, so some driving tips here. You know, common sense applies, but a couple of the most important things: don't tailgate, don't slam on your brakes if you're driving in icy conditions. Let off the accelerator, but don't slam on your brakes, because that just leads to more problems if you're out and about driving in slippery conditions. Well, how bad is the ice going to be? This is not going to be a crippling ice storm, but here's a look at what our computer models are showing, and a pretty good cluster here on our models between, say, 0.15 and 0.2 inches worth of ice. Now, most people don't really know what that means. Everybody kind of knows what 2 inches of snow looks like, or 5 inches of snow. 0.2 of an inch worth of ice, that makes the roads and sidewalks and everything slippery. But it's not the kind of ice that will lead to huge problems with utility interruptions and that sort of thing. For that, you need generally 1/4 of an inch of ice or more. And it's rare for us to get that around here. We don't see crippling ice storms all that often around here. One of the first problems that we'll see tomorrow on the roads will probably be on bridges and overpasses. As the colder air, those bridges and overpasses are exposed to the cold air on all sides. And so once the air starts getting cold, down into the 20s, the entire surface of that bridge and overpass is exposed to that cold air and can freeze up and turn colder and more treacherous before other surfaces. So watch out for that mid-afternoon tomorrow. All right, snow forecast. You know, this has been pretty consistent. We haven't really changed these numbers much over the last couple of days. We've been talking about 4 to 8 inches as the most likely accumulation, and not only locally, but up towards Cleveland as well, and out towards Mansfield, Akron, Canton, Alliance. If you're traveling to Pittsburgh area over the next couple of days, amounts probably start to get a little bit lower as you head down 376 and 79 towards the Pittsburgh area. They're probably in for more like a 2 to 4 type of a system, or type of a snowfall, I should say, down there. Now, double-digit amounts, I can't rule those out in our viewing area, particularly in the north. I can't rule out someone trying to get 10 inches. 12 might be pushing it, but I can't rule out someone trying to get 10 inches up here. But 4 to 8, that's going to cover just about all of us, I think, in our viewing area as far as the snow goes. And then the wind chills become a story. Once the snow stops flying, it's just going to be cold for the weekend. Wind chills, those are the numbers on the map here. 5 to 10 below Saturday morning, and then Saturday afternoon staying mostly below zero. Saturday night, Sunday morning, also well below zero for the wind chills. I would expect air temperatures, ignore that, that's wrong. There we go. Just took a minute to adjust. Air temperatures Sunday morning near or perhaps even a little below zero as we wrap up the weekend. I want to show you some good news. On Thursdays, we get a fresh batch of modeling from the European Center. This is broken down by week-long increments. We're in the middle of a nice thaw right now. It's going to come to a crashing halt tomorrow. But we've had a little mini thaw this week. We're going to have another thaw very end of next week into the following weekend. And then the pattern does look halfway decent for the dead of winter during the latter portions of January and into perhaps the first week of February. So here's, for example, days 11 to 18, taking us out through the 29th of January. And all the cold anomalies are out west. Is this a super warm pattern for us? I doubt it, but this is not a very cold-looking pattern. And again, that's the end of January and probably into the first week or perhaps even 10 days of February. The pattern looks pretty decent. So, I think we're in the middle of just the worst of the winter. This started at Christmas. Now it's the 11th of January. We've got to get through another week. And once we get out through roughly the 18th, 19th, beyond that, winter's going to become less harsh as consistently as it has been. There can, of course, still be some very cold days and some snow and some ice and things like that, but the kind of consistently cold and stormy weather we've had since Christmas is going to start waning as we head deeper into January. I'll have many more updates on social media this evening and tomorrow. No one posts more stuff than me. Hopefully it's not too much stuff, but I like to keep you up to date on Facebook and on Twitter and on Instagram occasionally as well. So make sure you're following me there. If you're not following me on Twitter, I'm Eric WFMJ on Twitter, and I'll have a full update tonight on 21 News at 11. Thanks for watching, and have a great Thursday night.